This is Bishop John Doerfler of the Diocese of Marquette. Everyone who prays struggles with distractions, which can be frustrating. We come to our time of prayer or come to Mass and strive to focus on the Lord, and suddenly we discover that we are thinking about a project at work, a child who is sick, a grocery list, or many other matters. When it comes to prayer, we are wanderers. What are we to do? First of all, it is helpful to know that there are two different kinds of distractions, voluntary and involuntary. Let us begin by looking at involuntary distractions. Involuntary distractions are what I described in the opening lines of this message. We begin our time of prayer focusing our mind and heart on the Lord, and after a time we suddenly realize that our mind has wandered to other thoughts. In these cases, we did not make a deliberate, conscious choice to turn our minds away from the Lord. Our minds simply wandered involuntarily. When this happens, it is best to gently turn our thoughts back to the Lord and tell Him that we love Him. If we are at Mass, we should refocus on the Mass prayers. If we are meditating on Scripture, we should reread the passage that we are meditating on. It is also possible that our thoughts have turned to someone or some situation that needs prayer. We might also be distracted by something that we are worried about. If that is the case, then let us bring that person or situation before the Lord in prayer, ask His help, and then gently turn our thoughts to the Mass, meditation, etc. It is important not to become too flustered with distractions. Otherwise, our anxiety about the distractions will only make the matters worse. Just be gentle with yourself and return your mind to the Lord. It is common for our minds to keep wandering. Every few minutes we might realize that we have wandered again. If your mind keeps wandering, then just keep gently bringing yourself back. Good preparation for prayer by quieting our hearts can help to decrease distractions. Our minds can be like a speeding train that takes some distance to stop. So some time to quiet and slow down our minds helps to put the distracting thoughts of the day behind us. Voluntary distractions are of a different kind. When we are distracted in this way, we have made a deliberate, conscious choice to turn our mind to something else instead of the Lord. Sometimes a voluntary distraction starts as an involuntary one. However, when we realize that we are distracted, we make a deliberate choice to continue thinking about the distraction instead of gently turning our mind back to the Lord. Voluntary distractions show us what we are attached to. Our hearts have become attached to something when we deliberately choose to think about it rather than the Lord. The remedy for voluntary distractions is deeper conversion and self-denial in order to break the attachment with the help of God's grace. Let us love the Lord our God with our whole mind, and let us lovingly and gently turn our thoughts to Him. This is Bishop John Doerfler of the Diocese of Marquette.